Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by EnergySage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar experts, community projects and heat pump specialists in your area. And by Atmos Financial. Bank better with a financial technology company that's powered by a portfolio of clean energy investments. Welcome back to another episode of TN Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. It's finally happened. After what feels like a really long wait, GM-branded EVs, including Chevrolet, Cadillac and GMC badged vehicles, now have access to Tesla superchargers in North America. Made official on Wednesday this week, GM confirmed that unlike Ford, which offers Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning owners the chance to get a complimentary CCS to NACS adapter, GM owners will need to fork over $225 to get one, although shipping of the adapters will be free until the end of this year. Sadly, CCS-equipped Spark EVs are not included in the list of cars given access, and if you have a 2019 or 2020 Bolt EV, you'll need to visit the dealership to get a software update to ensure compatibility. If we hear of any workaround for Spark EVs, we'll let you know. Unless you've been under a rock for the past 6 months, you'll know that both European and North American countries are readying new tariffs on imported Chinese-made EVs. You might also know that in the last few weeks, we've seen non-Chinese automakers reiterate why tariffs are needed and heard from Chinese automakers readying ways around those tariffs. This week, it looks like those two worlds might collide after reporting from multiple news outlets suggests that Audi, whose production facility in Vorst, Belgium, is considering selling the facility to Chinese company NIO. Audi had planned to use the facility to increase production of its Q8 e-tron, but decided earlier this year it didn't need the extra capacity. It would give Volkswagen AG extra money and NIO a way to avoid tariffs. Sticking with Chinese automakers, BYD is known around the world for its low-cost EVs and its rapid capture of certain parts of the EV marketplace. It, like other Chinese firms, is looking at ways around European import tariffs for passenger cars, but has also just launched not one or two, but an entire new range of battery electric commercial vehicles. While BYD is known best in most markets for its cars, its commercial vehicle business is huge globally, with BYD buses and trucks already sold in much of the world. The new commercial range for Europe includes the E-Valley, LCV with a 3.5 or 4.25 metric ton payload, a new yard tractor, which I should note is designed for shipping yards, not your garden, a cab-over tractor unit for medium distance haul, and a 7.5 metric ton fixed axle truck for urban delivery duties. One of the most common fears we hear from would-be EV drivers is what happens if their EV battery pack dies after a few years of ownership, requiring a costly replacement. Like many in the industry, we've done our best to educate people about the reality that most EV battery packs outlive the vehicle they're placed in, and new data from fleet management company Geotab hammers that point home. In 2019, data from its massive fleet showed that EV batteries were degrading on average by about 2.3% per year, and this year, the rate of degradation in newer EVs is far less, at 1.8% on average, with some models suffering just 1% of average degradation per year. I should note, however, that these figures are averaged out. It's normally usual for an EV to suffer its most noticeable battery degradation in its first year of ownership, after which it tends to suffer negligible battery degradation for the remainder of its life. It's no secret that vehicles are getting larger and larger, and that includes EVs. And while the auto industry likes to sell larger vehicles as being safer, they're really not safe for other road users. Safety advocates have been worrying about increasing hood sizes for years, as well as recent increases in pedestrian deaths in the US. And it shows us that something needs to be done to stop the oversized, pedestrian-unfriendly vehicle craze. Now, after successful legislative efforts in the US, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is working on a new proposed set of rules designed to force automakers to build vehicles that are safer for pedestrians. It would impose new tests focused on pedestrian head impact and safety. About bloody time. When Fisker entered into bankruptcy protection earlier this year. We heard lots of horror stories about lightly damaged vehicles being written off due to part supply issues and worse. When it entered into bankruptcy protection, Fisker promised that it would cover warranty repairs, but reporting earlier this week suggested that owners might have to end up paying for certain repairs. Fisker has now publicly modified its FAQ page to reiterate that recalls requiring a physical inspection and potential repairs will be covered by the firm at no cost to owners. But this is hardly surprising. As far as I am aware, not doing this would have resulted in potential legal action. But at least it's good to know that Fisker owners can keep their cars on the road even if the company is struggling. Watch this space. It's well known that the Chinese auto industry, especially electric vehicles, is a massive threat to Western brands, and it's one of the reasons why large tariffs are now being proposed. Now, in a new interview with the Wall Street Journal, Ford CEO Jim Farley is calling China's EV industry a quote-unquote existential threat to Ford and the industry in general. Those who have been following in the industry will not be surprised by this, and inquiring minds might want to know why Jim Farley hadn't realised this earlier. But his trip to China earlier this year, where he test drove some Chinese-made EVs and realised the edge that those brands had on Ford, is rumoured to be one of the reasons why Ford suddenly switched from making large, heavy EVs and to promising more affordable, smaller vehicles instead. But if it works, good. Renault is well known for taking precious iconic models and giving them a Resto Mod EV treatment for an auto show, and Renault's just about to do that at the Paris Motor Show. Enter the R17 electric Resto Mod X Ora Ito. Developed in collaboration with French designer Ora Ito, this Resto Mod takes the Renault 17 and adds a little nip and tuck here and there to improve road holding and bring its styling into the 21st century. I'm certainly not a fan of the body design or indeed the wheels, although it certainly managed to capture what maybe a designer in the 70s might have imagined a futuristic EV would look like, but hey, it's not likely to ever make production. But that said, I do love seeing a classic car given a modern twist and all-electric drivetrain. There is only one question I have for Renault though. When will you start offering actual Resto mods for your most iconic models? I would love an OG all-electric de cheveux. If you're old enough, you might remember the time when it was common for cigarette companies to advertise everything everywhere, including on television and in magazines, with no warnings about the consequences to your health from smoking. In the last 30 years, we've thankfully seen some bans in some countries aimed at curtailing tobacco advertising. And now the city of The Hague in the Netherlands is the first city in the world to do the same with fossil fuels. It's just passed a local ordinance that bans fossil fuel suppliers, vacations, air travel, and ICE vehicles from being advertised. It's a step in the right direction and helps The Hague towards its goal of becoming climate neutral by 2030. Well done for being a world leader. And finally for the segment, we've covered the risks of poorly built e-bike battery packs plenty on the channel before and explained the need for better safety regulations for battery packs. In the US, the US Senate and House of Representatives has been working on a new set of bills designed to push better battery safety regulations, and the legislation had bipartisan support, something that's kind of rare these days on Capitol Hill. But this week, we learned that Texas Senator Ted Cruz threw the passage of the bill into disarray by adding a rider to the bill in committee that would prevent the US Consumer Product Safety Commission, the organization which would have been charged with regulating battery packs, from regulating anything. The reason? That particular agency previously looked at regulating gas stoves, and Ted Cruz is upset. Our shorts are coming in a moment, but first a quick word from longtime video sponsor, EnergySage. EnergySage helps homeowners connect with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program, or in fact, get a heat pump installed. I used EnergySage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our EnergySage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of EnergySage's free, no-obligation services and get that ball rolling today. If you choose to use an EnergySage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support the show. It's a win-win-win. And now it's time for short shorts. Porsche has recalled the Taycan EV to address incorrect headlight software on just under 1,000 2024 Taycan EVs. While you might think that this would be an over-the-air update, it does in fact require an in-person visit to your local dealer. Phoenix Motors, which took over the transit bus arm of Proterra last year, has recalled some Catalyst and ZX5 transit buses to address an issue with the radiator fan electrical circuit. In some instances, the circuit may overheat, causing potential vehicle damage. BYD's all-electric Seagull EV, one of the more affordable models, was officially not only China's best-selling EV last month, but actually the country's best-selling car. At a sticker price equivalent of $10,000, BYD sold 41,000 examples in China last month. Kia has officially held the European debut of its Platform Beyond Vehicle, or PBV, at IAA in Germany. The first all-electric Kia commercial vehicle lineup to be built, the PV5 concept comes in 3 different guises, and the PV7 concept all making a debut, just as Geotab announced its official partnership with Kia on fleet management for the very same vehicles. US company Range Energy has been promoting the benefits of its powered big rig trailers. With a 200 kilowatt-hour battery and 350 kilowatt e-axle, the trailers can dramatically improve electric semi-range and reduce fuel consumption for diesel big rigs. Chevrolet Equinox EV owners are starting to tire of long wait times for repair and parts for their vehicles. While GM states there's no parts shortage, Inside EVs reports multiple owners facing months-long delays to get their cars fixed after small accidents. Unveiled earlier this year, the Vinfast VF3 is Vinfast's smallest and cheapest electric car to date. While it went on sale in its home market at Vietnam earlier in the year, it's just had its first sales launch outside of its home market, with the VF3 now on sale in the Philippines. UK-based in-wheel motor specialist Protean has officially secured a £5.5 million collaborative research and development grant from the UK's Advanced Propulsion Centre. It's hoping to make in-wheel motors a common feature for future EV models. Porsche has confirmed that the Macan EV will officially launch in the US at the end of September, with an EPA-certified range of 308 miles or 495 kilometres. It is worth noting, though, that Porsche's range estimates are usually very pessimistic. Rideshare specialist Revel is in partnership with computer vision startup Juice to roll out what is being called a Face ID for vehicles. The idea is to identify a vehicle using computer vision to integrate seamless charging station billing. What could possibly go wrong? No, don't tell me. Ford has officially launched a plug-in hybrid version of its Ranger in Germany. It uses a 2.3-litre EcoBoost engine married through a 10-speed gearbox with a 75 kilowatt motor and just under 12 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Sales in Europe will start soon. A collaboration between BMW, Ford and Honda, named ChargeScape, has now officially launched. The new company is focused on using smart grid technology to optimize EV charging and two-way power transfer in a way that's both beneficial for owners and the utility grid as a whole. Volvo Trucks has officially delayed construction plans for a new commercial vehicle battery cell production facility in Sweden. The factory, which was due to enter construction shortly, will now be delayed to a potential of 2 years into the future. It's not clear what the knock-on effects will be for Volvo's trucks. BYD and Shell have announced a competition in the UK that will offer customers who test drive a BYD between now and the middle of November the chance to win a brand new BYD Dolphin and a Shell recharge card with a discounted charging rate of 15 pence per kilowatt hour. Lotus has officially priced its Eletre electric SUV for the US. Made in China, the all-electric crossover can be yours for $229,900. It's now nearly twice the price it was originally promised for, likely because of import tariffs. CATL has unveiled its latest battery tech for commercial buses and trucks. Offered in a choice of long life and super-fast charging geysers, the Tech Trans offers up to 15 years of use with up to 500 kilometres of range. This techie trans just can't compete. Next week, the European Union is expected to vote for the final time on finalising special tariffs on Chinese-made EVs imported to the EU from China. Originally, the vote was due to take place in October, but now could take place as soon as the 25th of September. AMG Lithium has officially opened what is going to be Europe's first lithium refinery. Based in Germany, it will be capable of producing up to 20,000 metric tons of lithium hydroxide every year as of next year, enough for 500,000 electric cars annually. We all know electric vehicles are less stressful to drive than gasoline or diesel-powered vehicles, and Tesla semi-customers PepsiCo agrees. It says that its driver employment retention has been improved among drivers who primarily operate its Tesla semi-fleet. Following last week's official recall of all Volkswagen ID.4 models made in the US to address the fault with the door opening system, Volkswagen has officially halted all production of ID.4 at its Chattanooga, Tennessee facility. The production halt could last until early next year. Business Insider has published a story claiming that Tesla Autopilot trainers, people who labelled training data for Autopilot FSD, were told to ignore no turn on red signs in order to get FSD cars to drive more like humans. Tesla has not responded to these severe allegations. Despite impending tariffs on Chinese-made EVs, NIO has officially started delivering the refreshed ELA electric SUV to customers in Europe. The refreshed model is noticeably improved on its predecessor and has a strong waitlist on its launch markets. As Tesla opens up its supercharger network to non-Tesla owners, we've seen plenty of people ask about the possibility of using extension cables to supercharge their non-Teslas. But this week, Tesla's lead engineer publicly advised people not to use extension cables, saying that it could lead to overheating and damage for both the vehicle and the supercharger. Ford has excitedly pushed a new software update to some F-150 Lightnings to add a new feature to customers' cars, a built-in karaoke. Ford says Mustang Mach-E customers can look forward to it soon, but seriously, Ford, there are more pressing updates, like Blue Cruise 1.3, for example. A consortium of Tesla semi-fleet customers are working together to pilot a new heavy-duty EV charging corridor between Los Angeles, California and El Paso, Texas. It's not clear if Tesla is involved, but Terawatt Infrastructure will provide the actual charging infrastructure. Volvo's Care by Volvo subscription program is officially no more. Launched back in 2017, it was designed to allow customers flexibility of ownership and swap out vehicles as required by their circumstances. Volvo says it will slowly close out the program as the original agreements end. Fiat has closed down the production facility in Italy where its 500e is made for 4 weeks, citing low demand. The 4-week shutdown will also be used to help ready the facility to start producing a hybrid Fiat 500 model, backtracking on its goals of electric only. Meanwhile, Fiat's parent company Stellantis has confirmed that it's in the process of planning to revamp many of its US production facilities to enable them to produce electric and internal combustion engine vehicles side by side on various production lines. Sales data from San Francisco's Bay Area suggests that residents are falling out of love with Tesla, that the brand has traditionally enjoyed strong sales loyalty in the tech capital of the state, but sales fell 22% in the first half of this year. The order books have officially opened for the Charger Daytona in the US, with Dodge offering a VIP experience for customers who put down money on its first electric muscle car. Deliveries are expected to begin a little later this year. Watch this space. Renault has unveiled a new concept vehicle in Germany at its auto show, the Renault Estafette concept, designed to be appealing to urban professionals who need a van to hold their equipment or to carry out deliveries. It looks like a cross between a K-Class van and a Renault Kangoo. Tesla has been celebrating producing its 100 millionth 4680 form factor battery cell, which is an incredible milestone. The company now says it's producing cells at a massive rate, with what appears to be 500,000 cells being made every single day. After a scandal in which he was accused of being involved in potential subsidy fraud in Taiwan, the founder and CEO of Gogoro, Horace Luke, has been thrown out. The board of directors has already announced his replacement, Taemon Tseng. At IAA in Germany, Renault unveiled a new prototype of its master delivery van, the H2 Tech prototype. A hydrogen fuel cell vehicle with a claimed range of up to 700 kilometers, it features a 47 kilowatt fuel cell and a 20 kilowatt hour battery pack. Late last week, Tesla was spotted testing what appeared to be a cybercab robotaxi prototype at the Warner Brothers lot in California. The lot is where Tesla will reveal the vehicle on October 10th, so the sighting makes sense. Initial deliveries of the USPS's new electric mail truck are happening across the US. Built by Oshkosh under government contract, these electric delivery vehicles are already proving popular with postal workers who say they are safer, more comfortable, and far less stressful to drive. Maxus has unveiled its latest all-electric pickup for Europe, the Maxus e-Terrong. It's the first all-electric, all-wheel drive mid-size pickup to be offered in Europe and offers 102 kilowatt hours of battery and 325 kilowatts at the wheels. Lotus has unveiled its latest concept car, the Theory 1, which it says, quote, embodies the future of intelligent performance vehicles, end quote. Honestly, though, it looks like Lotus looked at the Cybertruck and designed to make polygons less angular. Sorry, Lotus. And finally, for the shorts, New Jersey has announced a new income-based incentive program called Charge Up Plus. It's an addition to its existing Charge Up incentive program, but is designed to make it far easier for low-income families to switch to EVs. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are next, but first a quick word from friend of the channel, Atmos Financial. Imagine a bank where your savings not only grow, but also go towards growing a greener world. That's exactly what Atmos Financial does for you. With Atmos, every dollar in your checking and savings account is funding projects that light up lives with solar energy rather than fossil fuels. Atmos is banking that builds a better tomorrow with every swipe of your card today, because it's committed to investing 100% in clean, equitable and sustainable progress. With a competitive savings rate and a mobile app, your finances and the climate can go hand in hand. It charges no monthly fees and there are no minimums keeping you awake at night, and it offers accessible solar loans for those who want to give the fossil fuel industry the ultimate middle finger. By joining Atmos using the link below, you're not only choosing a smarter way to bank, you're actually planting seeds for a healthier earth. And every sign-up supports this channel so we can keep bringing you the content you love. I'm personally a customer and I love knowing that I'm helping save money while also making sure that my savings doesn't end up funding the fossil fuel industry. As always, thanks to Atmos for their sponsorship of the show. Despite being the #1 EV pickup on sale right now, it's fair to assume, at least based on the vehicles I see regularly around these parts, that most Cybertrucks aren't given a particularly hard life. But two Tesla Cybertrucks have just successfully completed a true adventure truck-worthy adventure by travelling from Florida to the Arctic Ocean and back, covering a total of 11,000 miles at 17,700 kilometres. The two trucks were lightly modified with some custom bits from Unplugged Performance, but were otherwise pretty standard, and ended up relying on both Tesla's Supercharger network and some newly installed Level 2 Tesla destination chargers on the Dempster Highway in Canada. It is really good to see someone using an electric truck for an appropriate reason rather than just being a trophy truck that's a commuter vehicle. And finally, Norway has long been the world leader in EV adoption, thanks in part to some very generous incentives and the early EV advocacy work of a certain band you might have heard of by the name of AHA. We've seen EV sales grow and grow in the last 2 decades, and now the overwhelming majority of new cars sold in the nation are electric. But last month, another milestone was passed: the fact that there are now more EVs on the road than there are petrol-powered vehicles. Sadly, diesel vehicles still outnumber EVs by just a little bit, but I have no doubt that will soon change, and I'm sure that many of you feel the same way. So if someone decides to jump in your social media account and tell you EVs are a total and utter failure, you can just quietly point them to Norway, where EV owning is preferred to filling up with petrol. And on that note, we are done with today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. Plus, if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. So find out more by heading to myeva.org. And if that's not enough, don't forget it's soon going to be National Drive Electric Week, with tons of great events taking place, organised around the US by Plug in America, the EVA, the Sierra Club, EV Hybrid Noir, and Drive Electric USA. So check out their page and go and join one of the events. And thanks to EnergySage. Follow the link below to find out how easy it can be. Verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you to make that step towards energy self-sufficiency through solar on the roof of your home, by joining a community solar project, or in fact by getting a heat pump installed. And thanks to Atmos Financial. Bank better by following the link below. And of course, if you are someone who made your own transportation or energy greener this week, whatever it was, congratulations. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can support us from $1 a month on Patreon by following the link below, which is about $10.08 a year, or by visiting our swag store. We are viewer supported because we believe the information we produce should be free to everyone. So if you do support, thank you. Sadly, as some of you may have seen from our recent video, our trip to Canada saw us with more than about $1,000 of disputed Airbnb nonsense that we are still fighting. So, yeah, your support really does help. Thank you. You make all of this possible. We'll be back next week as usual with content going out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And to finish, remember that you are valid and loved and you have a place in this world, regardless of what rich idiots, religious zealots, large companies and greedy politicians might want you to think. Know that your existence is resistance, and that resistance, if you are able, can be bolstered by making sure that you're registered to vote this year if you are in the US and you are a citizen. It's all part of the democratic process to have your say, regardless of whom you vote for. I'm registered. Until next time, stay safe regardless of your identity or who you love. Be an amazing ally, be kind, and please, for the sake of everyone's future, keep evolving.